New York Comic Con in the Newsarama Skybox. I'm Grace Randolph.
I'm Justin Tyler.
And we are here with the Legend of Korra crew, specifically Brian KONIETZKO, PJ BYRNE, and Joaquim de Santos.
Yep. Nailed it. Nice job.
I love it when everyone gets their names right.
It's not easy. We're all very close friends, though. So we're in the middle of season 2 of Korra, and it's sort of a different. It's new things are happening with the dark spirits and everything.
Yeah.
Why?
Yes.
Yes.
Good answer. Great answer.
Great. That's the end of the interview. Thank you guys. It's my pleasure.
Confirmed.
Just wanted to confirm that.
New things happening with dark spirits.
No spoilers.
You heard it on
Season 2, all new.
Yeah. What's new about it? It's new.
Yeah.
That's about it. But it is sort of a new, I don't know, mythos or something for the universe. Why the new sort of direction, I guess?
Well, Mike and I knew that when we created Korra, we wanted her to be very different from Aang, and we wanted her character arc and her personal journey to be very different from his. And he was the peace-loving, fun-loving, responsibility-shirking monk who just wanted to have fun and didn't want to fight, didn't want to step up to his responsibility. She's the opposite. She wanted that job from day one when she was a little girl. She loves being the Avatar, wants to be the Avatar, but she's not spiritually, connected, and she hasn't really, she hasn't made that much progress in that part of her life and training, and she's just very physical. And so we knew that from, even from the beginning of book 1 that would be her journey, and that's one of the first things you hear. You hear the White Lotus talking to her about that, and so that kind of sets up her whole arc. So once we get, we had the revolution out of the way, and it's kind of her, book 1 was her and her friends reacting to a lot of stuff, and this is now choices have to be made, and she's the Avatar, and she's kind of making the wrong choices, and everything's kind of falling apart, and she's realizing even if I've got power, it doesn't make it easy.
Well, I want to talk to that because I think a lot of viewers have been surprised that Korra is making so many wrong choices, and also she's very emotionally immature.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, it's I think you can have a lot of power, you can have, and that can in our real world, you could have a lot of talent, or you could have high intelligence. But it doesn't mean you're going to be wise, and it doesn't mean you're not going to take things personally, or you're not going to be irrational and emotional, and also it's difficult when you're caught. We were talking earlier, she's 17, 18, and she's like the president of the world.
The world.
If you look at every president, inauguration day, and then when they go gray, fully gray. Imagine you're a 17, 18-year-old girl who's feisty already. She's pugnacious. You're gonna have this just huge ramifications to choices, and she's really trying to make the right choices, but it's caught up with family stuff. That's always hard. Look at any professional person, they might have their professional life together and their family life's falling apart, When those two things are woven together, it can cloud your judgment.
Never run a family business, is I think what you're saying.
Yeah. When it's the whole world.
Yeah.
Yes. The world.
Yeah. My family business is the world. So.
Yeah.
Well, when I talked to you 2 Comic Cons ago,
and I thought you were great. I
I knew you remembered me.
Yes, I do.
But,
we were standing up talking, actually.
Yes, exactly.
Nice. Nailed it.
That's a fact. That's a
Very
fact.
good.
You've never done another stand
Confirmed.
So the J stood up. No spoilers.
But it was very funny because you were giving some teasers and your publicist was behind you being like, stop doing that.
Oh yeah, that she's like this, she went like this.
And so you were talking about Bolin's love life in season 2, and boy, it hasn't delivered, right?
Yes.
How is it doing those scenes and everything?
It's an interesting world because I always said this before, a woman owns me, essentially. I'm an indentured servant. Bolin's such a sweet human, and he always thinks there's good in everyone, so people tend to take advantage of him, and in a relationship, this is like that on crack. So I guess my tip to the world, if you have a relationship like that, get out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's trying.
Yeah, I'm doing my damnedest.
Yeah.
I'm doing my damnedest. She's very powerful.
Yeah.
And she has a very boringly interesting voice that scares the hell out of me.
Wonderfully voiced by Aubrey Plaza, who's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's perfect for that role.
She crushes it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's sort of on you to keep the comedy going because this book is so intense. There's everyone's fighting, families being torn apart, and you're like, Well, I have a tough relationship. I'm getting
Yeah. I think you'll see in the episode that's coming up this Friday with the Avatar Wan story, where we find the origin of the first Avatar. A whole new sort of balance of tones is going to be injected into this season, and it's kind of this really cool like movie within the series, you know. And
awesome.
there's all sorts of kind of whimsy and mystery and mythical elements and comedy but in a different way, you know. And so when I think of book 2, it's crazy. There's like gangsters,
Right,
and there's spirit world stuff, and these mythical 10,000 years ago flashbacks, and you know, really intense family stuff, and really cool action. I feel like this book is just so dynamic and really varied.
Well, for each of you, you have such a big cast. All right, now every fan has their favorite.
Oh man, it gets bigger each
Yeah, it does.
yeah.
For each of you, whose journey are you the most excited about? And you can't say Bolin.
Hi.
Okay.
How are you?
Say Bolin.
Yeah, you can say Bolin.
Yeah. For me, it is Bolin. I mean, I loved Sokka in the first series, and Bolin's the character that I've gravitated towards. Not just because he's sitting right here, man.
I'm crying inside.
But it is right now. He's our moment of levity, and he sort of allows you to just kind of have fun with the series and not not let it get too heavy. Yeah, for me, he's like the bro I want to hang out with.
But he's got a big arc, you know. It's because he starts so naive and so childlike. He has a really big arc through the series.
It's almost like they can learn from Bolin to not take everything so seriously.
I don't know. Things aren't so good.
What a thing to say. What a thing to say as the character.
Yeah.
This is the way he goes through life.
What about you? Another character other than your own?
Yeah.
I just saw the Wan episode, and that I thought was so special on so many levels. The mythical elements of it was just beautiful. It was calming. It was just, I don't know. I guess I was so proud. I'm like, am I part of that show? It really blew my mind. Honestly, Jen, it was beautiful.
Yeah, for me, it's Korra, and we're getting that feedback. Like, she's too intense, and she's like making bad decisions, and I'm like, that's awesome. You know, like, you know, I mean, yes, she's getting to a very intense stage right now and really hitting rock bottom, but it's like, you know, we're writing the end of book 4 right now, so it's like I know where she's going, and awesome. We, you know, if you look back on Avatar, we like to take characters through these really intense arcs, you know, and you know, I had a high school teacher tell me one time. He said, "The life of a great person goes like this."
Oh,
You know, and he said, and everybody else does this, and so you have really high highs and really low lows, and hopefully it all kind of like the stock market.
Yeah, totally. I like that teacher. That's great. That's really
awesome.
smart.
Great
Life lesson.
The power of teachers.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
So it's those are the kind of dynamic characters. You know, you get to the end. Like, think about Zuko. You know, you get to the end and you're like, man,
wow.
Like this kid, he went through so much stuff. And
I like to think about Zuko. Are we ever going to see them? I mean, everyone's like,
When I'm alone at night, when I'm alone in the bathroom,
Grace, don't
I like to
don't
think
talk
about
that.
Zuko. Like, why?
not
That's really weird.
6 Zuko.
Yeah.
What are you wearing? Are you thinking about Zuko?
Yeah, I mean, but
What are you
everybody
Yeah.
back in the day used to ask, "Oh, who's your favorite character?" And I would always, until we introduced Toph, I would always say Zuko, because he had the biggest arc. He had
He's great.
the furthest to go, and we had really negative reactions at the end of book 2. And I remember Aaron Ehas, the head writer. You know, we knew kind of where he was going to join Aang and become his teacher from early. We knew Zuko would be the teacher in book 3, but Aaron was like, okay, because we told Aaron that. You know, Mike and I had come up with that, and as the head writer, he's like, okay, well, we're really going to take him bad before he's going to make some really bad decisions and bottom out before he gets there, and those kind of dynamics, I think, are what really help you, like, really get the full human experience.
And plus, connecting with kids who are like, their lows to them are the ultimate low of their lives, and their highs are the same way. So it's so, because dealing with all these big themes, I feel like, how would a kid understand a character's spiritual journey? But like,
I tell you what, man, I get humbled every convention or something. I once received a letter from a fan who lost their home in Hurricane Katrina and said that it was Zuko's journey that got them through.
Aww.
Now, when I hear that, it's not like I'm like, oh, we created something, you know, like it doesn't give me a sense of like entitlement or like, well, were this powerful. It's humbling, that they found something in that journey. And we're talking about a character he's just salty and surly and, you know, mean and like he's on this like errand, you know, and he's banished and he's like trying to capture a kid and like mean to none of his people like him and none of the people that work for him.
Disfigured.
But this is a character that, you know, because of the humanity in him, someone who's a kid going through something tragic, something that I could never even imagine, you know, losing my home and my city's destroyed. And they, in this fiction, find some humanity. And ultimately, we're not just trying to entertain, you know, we're not just trying to make people laugh or get excited about, you know, people getting punched or something. We're trying to communicate some human experience and a spiritual journey, and I think kids do connect with that stuff.
I agree, but I'm just always surprised something so like mythological and almost like religious and like all these big themes, like adult themes, and it's just all right there in this cartoon.
But I think on the flip side, you know, you've brought a lot of adults into anime. I mean, your fan base has grown up from the first series. When you see the way Nickelodeon treats your series now, it's almost like a Game of Thrones event. When I tuned to the premiere, they had
that was that nice trailer.
Montage.
I really liked that. That was cool.
So
it made it feel like an event.
Yeah, it was
totally.
really cool to get that respect.
It's
you know?
the first show that I've worked on that has had, you know, fans that are adults and children, and oftentimes the parents of the children are watching along, you know, with their kids, and they come as a group to get, you know, signings. It's like we all watch together as a family.
Nothing makes you feel older than an adult walking up and going, "I grew up with your show."
How long have I been doing this? But I'll like be out at a bar talking about Korra with someone, and then someone down the bar will be like, "I love that show." It's like we're weird people, right?
They're like, "We don't have kids."
Yeah, exactly. We not at all. Well, that's awesome. We're such big fans of the show. And
Thanks for having us, guys.
It was great to hear that you're working on book 4.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Working on all of them.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming, and you guys stay tuned for a ton more from the comics.